Hi, everybody. Let's do IXL add and subtract integers, find the sign. First problem is 4 minus negative 28 positive or negative. So remember, subtracting a negative is like adding a positive. In both cases, we would move to the right on the number line. So if we start at positive 4 and then move to the right 28 spaces, then we would end up on the positive side of the number line. Remember, positive means to the right of 0 or greater than 0, and negative means to the left of 0 or less than 0. Okay, so if I start in positive territory and then I move to the right, then I would still be in positive territory. So this one is going to be positive. Even if we don't, even if you don't know exactly where you would end up, you could still reason that you would end up in positive territory. Of course, this one would be positive 32, but we don't even need to know that. We just need to know if it's positive or negative. Okay, so for this problem over here, is negative 39 plus, sorry, is negative 34 plus 9 positive or negative? In this case, we're starting at way over here at negative 34, and then we're moving to the right. Since we're adding a positive number, we would move to the right only 9 spaces. That would not be enough to put us back in positive territory, right? If we start at negative 34, then it would take at least 34 spaces to get back to 0, and then 35 or more spaces to get into positive territory. 9 spaces would not be enough, so we would still be in negative territory. And so this is going to be negative. Basically, if these symbols over here are different, then then look at which number is greater, right? Just ignore this for a second. Look at which number is greater. 34 is greater than 9, and 34 had the negative in front of it. So that means we would still end up in negative territory. Is 60 plus negative 56 positive or negative? Well, adding a negative is like subtracting a positive. So 60 plus negative 56 is like 60 minus positive 56. That means we're starting at 60 on the number line, and then we're moving to the left 56 spaces. It would take, if I start at 60, it would take 60 spaces to get back to 0. And then if I did 61 or 62 or more spaces, then I would be in negative territory. But if I start at 60 and I only move to the left 56 spaces, that's not going to be enough to pass 0. I would still be here in positive territory, right? That would be positive 4. Okay, you don't actually have to know exactly where you would end up for this IXL exercise. You just have to reason if you would end up on the positive side or on the negative side. Okay, so this one would be positive. Let's go ahead and skip a level. Well, I'll do this one. For this one, we're starting at positive 26. Let's say that's here. And then we're subtracting 71. So that means we would move to the left 71 spaces. If we start only at 26 and then we move to the left 71 spaces, well, if we go 26 spaces, then we're back at 0. If we go more than 26 spaces, like for example 71 spaces, which is a lot more than 26, then we would of course end up on the negative territory somewhere. And even if you don't know exactly where you would end up, you can still reason that since you went further to the left than the distance that you started on the right, then you would end up in negative territory. So this would be negative right over here. Okay. Yeah, we'll do this one. Negative 2 plus negative 92. So adding a negative is like subtracting a positive. So this means that we're starting at negative 2. Let's say that's here. And then we're moving to the left 92 spaces. So if we start in negative territory and then we continue moving to the left, then of course we're going to end up in negative territory. Okay? Hopefully that should make sense from the diagram. No matter how, if I start over here to the left of 0, and then I keep walking this way, there's no way that I'm going to end up in positive territory. So the answer has to be negative here. All right, let's go ahead and skip a level, see if we get any different kinds of problems. All right, so the problems involve larger numbers, but they're really not any more difficult than what we saw before. Okay, again, we'll look at a number line to try to figure this out. We're starting at 9,210. Let's say that's over here. And then plus negative. So that's like minus. So then we're moving to the left by 4,259 spaces. Well, 9,000 blah 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 is larger than 4,000 blah blah blah. So if we only move to the left by 4,259 spaces, that's still not enough to put us in negative territory because we started way out here at 9,000 something, and we're only moving 4,000 spaces to the left. So we would still be somewhere in positive territory to the right of 0. So the answer here is going to be positive. Okay, let's just do one more here. So if we start at negative 829, and then we would move to the right by 500 spaces, 528 spaces. So if we ignore the negative symbol for a second, 829 is larger than 528. So that means that we started further to the left than we're going to move back to the right. So this is not enough to pass 0 and bring us into positive territory. If this had been, let's say, 830, then that would just be enough to bring us into positive territory, right? But that's not the problem that we were given. We were given 528. That's not enough. So we would still be in negative territory to the left of 0. So the answer here is going to be negative. All right. So I think that was enough examples. I'm going to end the video there. I hope that was helpful and have a great day.